All right. I think this next one is going to be about I don't know. I guess just my experience being a chadlight, I guess. Just being attractive, like an 8 out of 10. Like I know I'm fat right now, but I'm pretty much making this video to cope with the fact that I'm fat right now, but but my experience being at least attractive in the face and muscular in my 20s, not in high school, but in my 20s and throughout my childhood. Besides getting like picked on for being short, it's pretty nice. Like people are generally still nice to me, like unless they're like a lot bigger than me and they're jerks, but or if they're women and they're taller than me, but at least typically that's how that goes. But people are generally nice to me, so I'm usually in a good mood. And I've dealt with depression before, but I had like a bad self-image of myself just from other things. Not really, it's like getting rejected in high school for being a twink, and also just being like a jester maxer for a while because I wasn't always like that good looking throughout my growing years. Some people have like an ugly phase. I definitely had an ugly phase, but now I'm pretty good looking. And people tend to treat me nicely, and they like to see me around. But I still can't get a stable girlfriend because I'm not that 10 out of 10. I'm like a 7 or an 8. It's pretty brutal. And I have some old like Twitch videos because I used to stream on Twitch, where I definitely looked like not good, but it was mostly due to my haircut, I think. But yeah, and the angle from the webcam just doesn't like nobody really looks good on a webcam in my opinion. Like webcams just aren't good for capturing facial aesthetics. Anyway, I'm still sick with the flu. I'm recording this video right after the manlet status video. Gonna record a few while I'm here at the library. Anyway, yeah, my experience is generally pretty good. Like I know I made it sound like it was like really bad in the manlet status video, but mostly I just have to worry about being like too shy or like too quiet for the most part. Sometimes I get pretty extroverted, but I'm usually pretty quiet and not talkative with most people. Mainly because of my past experiences with people, and just being alone for a long time. Which you might think like, hey, if you're an 8 out of 10, you wouldn't be alone this much, but I wasn't always. And right now I'm fat, so I'm just coping. Making this video to just cope with the fact that I'm actually not that attractive right now, but I kind of am with certain clothing on. Like it still kind of works for me. Like yeah, I kind of have like a double chin, but my jaw is still pretty visible. So it doesn't make that much of a difference, in my opinion. It makes a big difference, but it doesn't like people are still pretty kind to me, just based on my looks. I'm also like nice to people, you know. I don't have a bad attitude. But some of that I think is just from being good looking now. Like I used to have a really bad attitude and I hated everything. What else do I talk about? Just my experience being chadlight. It's so weird using the word Chad. Like I knew a guy named Chad growing up. Like he was pretty good with women, but he was all right. I think I still have him on Facebook. And this guy was like way older than me. Like he was in his like 20s or 30s when I was like 5 or something. But he was just like this cool guy that I knew. His name was Chad. I guess that's how it goes. Like, I guess it's where they got like they're all, I don't know, all the good looking guys are named Chad. Sure, sure they are. I don't know. He was pretty average. And anyway, I've always had like girlfriends or like women to be around or whatever. Just except in my 20s when I was like growing and didn't really look as good. And that kind of taught me, like, I don't know, I took the black pill. It was bad. And then I took the white pill, and I'm like, okay, I'm sort of hopeful now, but it might be a cope or a waste of time to be hopeful, but maybe not for me since I'm fairly good looking, besides all the fat. You might check out one of my videos and say you're just fat, but yeah, not untrue right now. Also, I think when I talk, I don't look as good, but maybe that's true for most people. Also, like straight on, like a camera angle straight onto my face, like isn't as good as like from the side, like a side angle. So, yeah, just to let you know. Let me think of an example of like I always get charged less money for buying products at stores. Like if I go to buy a soda or like a cheeseburger or something, because I'm a fat ass, usually I get charged like less than what the listed price is. Like I got a cheeseburger for like $3.75 when it should have been like $6 or $7, maybe $5. No, probably like $6 or $7. And I get free coffee all the time. Not just anyway. I get free coffee from like coffee shops sometimes, or they charge me less depending on what I order. Like if I order a mocha, they might charge me like $4 instead of $5. And partially because they probably know I don't have that much money, but also because I look good and then like people want to be nice to me sometimes. I don't know. I usually just get charged less. Or if I buy like a fountain drink from a gas station, sometimes they just give it to me for free. It's happened like 3 or 4 times in the past 2 months. I haven't gotten that many fountain drinks, so like every time almost. There was one time where I had to pay for it, and that was it. And it was a woman who was about the same height as me, so go figure. Usually when they're shorter, or like if it's a woman who's giving me the discount, like they're usually like shorter than me. Yeah. Not substantially, but like by a few inches or something. So yeah, I always get discounts. Like everywhere I go, it's always I'm always discounted, always paying less. So, and I ordered a sandwich the other day. The guy took off like $3 from the sandwich. It was like a fourth of the price. Not a fourth of the price, but like 3/4 of the price. I was like, okay, that's great. I don't know why people do it. I guess it's just because of my face. Let me think of 1 or 2 more examples. having a hard time thinking of an example or something. Bear with me. I don't know. Like, it's sort of a halo effect. Like, I've noticed, like I went to jail once for getting into a fight. I was supposed to be there for like 2 years, but I was only there for 8.5 months, which is still a long time, but it was like, yeah, and that was partially because I had a lawyer he wasn't really that great of a lawyer, though. So the only conclusion I had was that, yes, I took the plea deal, and I don't know, the judge was really nice to me because I don't look that bad. And I was overweight at the time because it's hard to not be in jail, but it's hard to not be overweight in jail, man. But yeah, I definitely got off easier than I otherwise would have. It was going to be like 2.5 years, and I knocked it down to like 8.5 months. And I was like, okay, I'll just take that. Anyway, so I'm not a criminal anymore, but it was just one time getting into a fight with like 10 people, and I won. And then somebody tackled me, and then I got caught by the cops. So that's what happened. Anyway, my face definitely probably saved me from more time in jail or prison. That's another thing. Like, I think I sort of look like a criminal. Like, I'm kind of short, but so I don't look like a big, like a tall thug, I guess. But I look kind of like thuggish. But I also look sort of like, I don't know. Like, I think I have that look, but I also look pretty good, and I can kind of fit into society at the same time, so I'm not just a total reject. So, yeah, that's what a good face does for you. And you might be saying, it might have been the lawyer, or it might have been the fact that you took a plea deal. I'm like, yeah, it was those two things, but also the judge looked at me and like was just like, okay, maybe you don't deserve this much time, and like he had to make that decision, and by looking at me. So yeah. Anyway, I got lucky. Halo effect. And I guess, I don't know, I was an early bloomer. Like, I had sex the first time when I was 13 with my girlfriend at the time. And then I had another girlfriend in high school, and I've had a girlfriend when I was 20 and a girlfriend when I was 24. So I've had 4 girlfriends, which is more than what most guys have ever gotten. But it's not that much more, and they all lasted about 3 to 6 months. Like, there were 2 that lasted 3 months. There was one that lasted actually about a year, and then the other one lasted like 6 months. So yeah. And I dated other girls off and on throughout that time period too. So I'm not like an incel, but I definitely feel the loneliness of not having a girlfriend, though. It's been a while. It's been like 5 years since I've had a girlfriend, almost 6 years. I think that's just the dating market nowadays. Like, even if you're an 8 out of 10 chadlight or whatever, like, you still have a hard time nowadays. So what I'm thinking about, like, gym maxing, or at least losing fat and mewing more. And yeah, just doing more. Anyway, that's about it.